Oh, who would have thought? Ivan Demidov in his first game back on the third line plays 13 minutes and scores his 5th goal of the season on an absolute beauty as he covers almost the whole rink. Not quite an end-to-end, but he rushes all the way up, and it's the quick change of direction here to fool the defender, get to the middle for a wide open lane, and snipes it. Not to mention the pretty beautiful celly right after. Jesse, he's finally back on the third line. Rottenberg heard all the complaints he put him there, but that's not the only thing we got to talk about today. We also got to talk about an analyst and what he said about Juraj Slafkovsky, and how we believe this season's going to be even better than some Habs fans may be thinking. And a note on Filip Mesar, who was off to one of the hottest starts of any Habs prospect. We're going to get into all that coming up in this episode of Habs Digest. And I wanted to start with Filip Mesar, Jesse, because, whoops, I guess I didn't do the chapters today. Barré Brûlé, he's not gone, but we'll just jump straight into it because I apparently didn't have the chapters ready. But it doesn't matter. We're going to get straight into this here, and that's Filip Mesar. Now, this tweet's a couple days old from Nick the Habs fan, saying this is a huge year for Mesar and his opportunity to someday be an NHL player, and it's very true. His D+1 and D+2 were not great, Jesse, but so far in Laval, he has 4 points in 2 games, and that NHLE, which is his NHL equivalent level of scoring, is very, very high. And again, these metrics don't look good for him based on the past few years, but he's taking advantage of his opportunity right now, and even Pascal Vincent just today, Renaud Lavoie tweeted this out. Pascal Vincent said, hey, up to now, I've been impressed by him. And that's the thing, Jesse, I think a lot of people have. He's up there with Mailloux for the most points on the team. He has looked very skilled. But not only has he looked skilled, he's finally putting those points on the board in Laval. He knew this was a big year for him. Laval knew it was a big year for him. And basically, like in some ways, this is a bit of a make or break year because we haven't seen that jump in development yet. But so far, he's showing the reason we drafted him so early.
And it's a big hill to climb considering how many good young players that we have. So it's so important for Filip Mesar that he's really started this season in the AHL on time, getting 1 goal, 3 assists, the same as his buddy Slaf, but in 2 lesser games, just in 2 games, albeit at the AHL level. Still very good, though, for Filip Mesar, right? Because not only is this big for the Laval Rocket, but like the hopes are not out the window of him one day being a part of the Montreal Canadiens, but it starts now. It starts yesterday for him, right, to really get there. Like this year, in a lot of ways, is a make or break, just considering all the other talent that we have. It's kind of his year to kind of, okay, is he going to kind of claim his spot or is he kind of be put to the wayside? But we see that he has something specific to bring, though, that is different from other prospects. For sure, he's been a little bit of a late bloomer of late, but it's that skill. Selected in the first round, we got a lot of really good players. We're just overall very, very good. We're still looking, besides the Demidovs, besides lining up those players that have that skill. And that is something that Filip Mesar can do as a playmaker, absolutely. So phenomenal to see this great start for him to the AHL season. And we're definitely going to be watching him closely here, folks.
I want to see over the course of this season how his power play game develops, because that was one thing he mentioned last year, that, he was told he'd be getting a top 6 role and get to play power play last year, but eventually, like, that was the plan for him, but he was sent back to the OHL to further develop. He was okay. He had a solid playoffs, a lot of assists, but didn't quite get that scoring up. But if his power play game can develop this year, Jesse, I mean, all he needs to do right now is to get to that level where he could be called up by the Habs, to the point where Montreal's like, okay, we're okay calling you up, because it's not like we're expecting him to jump up and all of a sudden be a top 6 level talent, but to see this start to develop, putting it finally together with the AHL, albeit in a small sample size, is definitely a good sign. I know a lot of you like Filip Mesar too, so leave some love for him down below, because he's one of these guys that we hope bounces back and ends up maybe one day playing with his buddy Slaf. But Jesse, we're going to quickly move on to the other topic in this video. Well, the second one, we're going to be talking about Demidov later. But I wanted to talk a bit about Juraj Slafkovsky. And, there's a lot of talk about him this year. And he himself saying before last game, he said, I don't know if I've had a great game yet, despite being point per game. But to Frankie Corrado, he's on these TSN broadcasts. He's a pretty solid analyst. He had this to say about Slaf in a recent article that I'll link down below. He has to own the front of the net in the offensive zone. If a lot of his offense can come from there, he's a hard player to handle. If he gets to that area, I have no worries the production is going to be there for him. And I think, Jesse, that's a very good point. And one thing that I think Habs fans might be underrating in terms of Slaf, and even Slaf in himself, is, right now we haven't seen him ripping those one-timers in the power play like we know he can do. Maybe that'll come eventually, but right now he's playing a lot more of a net front role so far this season compared to last season, I would say, at least from my eye. But the thing with him is, you see, he has 4 points, and a lot of it's from some of his net front presence, including last game, that easiest power play goal of your life in the net front. Suzuki makes a nice little pass to him, backdoor, easy goal. But it's not only that, he's screening goalies, creating incredible opportunities because he's so big as well. And to me, Jesse, Frankie is right on when he says being at that net front presence, well, it's not only going to increase his points, but to me, that's going to raise the baseline of a bad game, for example. Say he doesn't have it all there offensively. If you can make an impact by being big, being disruptive in front of the net, you will always have a reason to be on the ice at crucial times.
So those high danger areas where you do score goals. So I want to see Slaf there. I'm a big fan of players playing there, Josh, but I definitely feel that Juraj Slafkovsky needs to continue to be a shot option, whether it's on the power play or just in the slot, like ripping it, because we know he has an amazing shot. Like last year on the power play, he did start off like in front of the net a little bit, but then he did become more of a shot option as the season went on. But I'd love to see a mix of the both, kind of depending on the opposite team's PK, the team that they're playing against, everything. I think it's a great option, net front, but also he's got to be a one-time option there as well, because we've seen it absolutely rip it. That was a big reason why he got his 20 goals last season. I think that this is one of those players too. It's like, as you mentioned, Josh, like he's getting points and he's even saying without him playing his best hockey, and that's almost the most encouraging thing is that, you know, he's getting his points, but we just come to expect from Slaf even more, a little bit more dominance with the puck, winning those puck battles. We expect to kind of see, I know we lost a little bit of weight this summer. I'm not too worried about that as that being the reason. We know with Slaf, we need to be patient. Like it's going to come, but the points are already there, which is absolutely phenomenal. But I think the one thing, Josh, I'd love to get your opinion on this. Like, do you think that he needs to kind of shoot the puck more? Because I know it's a common theme with Slaf, even from last year. He likes to play make, but we've seen even this year, he gets good opportunities, a little bit of a rush, 2v2 kind of thing like that. And he's kind of looking for the pass where sometimes, like, I feel like your best players, like a Juraj Slafkovsky and even like a Lane Hudson, also the point applies to him as well, need to start to shoot more. And I think that they will definitely realize at a certain point, like your best players, you need to take control of the game sometimes by just letting her rip when you really have those opportunities that you're actually the best person to take that shot in that position on the ice. So I think he's going to learn that a little bit more. And absolutely, I think he's right that, you know, we can see a big year, but, you know, being in front of the net will also be a big part of his game as well.
I think he does. I think he's a natural playmaker, which is why he likes to pass. But I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that this dude, I mean, he scored 20 goals as a 19 and 20-year-old, right? Like that, mostly 19-year-olds. You score 20 goals, you need to shoot the puck more. And we saw some absolute snipes from him last season. He's more than capable, but he's just going to gain his confidence as the time goes on. I mean, again, it's his third year, his second full year, and there's probably going to be still a little rust. There's still some growing to do. This guy's still 20, but again, he's point per game so far through 4 games with a nice goal. I'd love to see him rip the puck a lot more. I think a lot of fans would too. Get our boy Slafzilla ripping some laser beams onto the net. Let us know down below. What do you think about, should Slaf score more? Should he go back to a one-time option on the power play? I think he still is. Maybe we just haven't seen that manifest itself in the way we want yet, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. But Jesse, it's time to get into our boy Ivan Demidov. We're going to play the highlights again. Oh my goodness. I mean, look, he was wearing a different jersey this morning, and when we saw the red jersey, we knew he was probably back in the lineup, and sure thing, he is. He's back with Evgeny Kuznetsov on the third line, and what do you know? When you play him, he scores goals over their last 6 games, I believe. They're undefeated when he plays more than 5 minutes, and they haven't won a game when he plays less than 5 minutes. I could be wrong on that statistic, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. And the amazing Selly here, but it wasn't only the goal, Jesse. There's just another little clip I wanted to show you guys. Look at this little spin corral. Like, how do you even think to do that? I don't even know. Demidov was a bit of a highlight machine there today, creating opportunity. He scores a goal again. This is against a lesser team in the KHL. He seems to really only get those minutes against teams that are not expected to compete with SKA. But regardless, again, you put him in the game, he scores, he got his 5th goal of the season. I got the stats up here. This is not updated because HockeyDB is a bit slow, but he's now at 16 games and 5 goals. Every game he's been in, Jesse, he looks good. It's that skill and it's that quick change of direction again that gets me. I mean, he's able to play against these men in this professional league and just make it look easy a lot of the time. Not all the time. He still isn't, fully comfortable, but he's an 18-year-old and he is looking really, really smooth.
And Roman Rottenberg's feeling the pressure because of it. As much as he kind of continues that great play, and then there's a kind of noise about why he's not getting the play time, the more he kind of continues to have these type of performances, like he really can't kind of avoid that type of talk, right? Just 4 minutes into the game, getting Ivan Demidov on the ice, not only getting a goal, but getting the lead for your team as well. So you have to feel like that's going to help his case for sure. And Jeff Gordon, he recently kind of commented on the situation. He says that he's been in contact with SKA just regarding this situation and that they do want him to play more. And they feel that it's a little bit frustrating sometimes when he's not getting the playing time he deserves. That being said, that they're very impressed in what he's doing in this time, but it's just a tough situation, right? To kind of, they're feeling like they really need to respect that year, that contract over in Russia before they can get him over here before. But it's just nice to hear that they're trying to help. They're trying to get an SOS to him over there, whatever way they can to help, to speak with him. And I think it's just so great to see that Ivan Demidov, that he has that support from Montreal.
Yeah, he still does. And again, I do think it's good. Like, this SKA team is good too. And he's got lots of former NHLers here. I mean, he's got a guy like Nikishin on the team who's going to be an NHLer, very high level prospect. He's playing with a guy like Kuznetsov. And even Tony DeAngelo is one of the best players offensively in the KHL right now. You know, his off-ice issues, is whatever in the NHL is what it is. But even now, that's the thing. His defense in the KHL is not nearly as big of a weak spot as it was in the NHL. He has, like, I don't know, coming into this game tonight, he had like 12 points in 7 games or something. But Demidov has good teammates. He has the ability to go out there and score a lot of points, and that's what he does. When he gets that opportunity, he puts it in the back of the net. Want to hear your guys' thoughts on Demidov? We'll play out with this highlight reel one more time because it is just a thing of beauty. There's a few other angles online that you can go find too. But it's a great feeling every single day when Ivan Demidov scores, because we know we can be hopeful for just one more day on him. I can't wait to get him over into North America, Jesse. But for now, that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. As you guys all know, we got some big goals with this channel, and if you'd help support us, we would really, really appreciate it. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.